What's up, you guys? This Games here again for another fucking episode. Turn up. Let's get right into it. So today's video, it gets better. We're going into my life and my struggles currently. This should be fun. And talking about how I'm learning to cope and how I'm learning to deal with my inner issues and what it's like for me to have to mask all that and pretend like I'm okay. I'm talking about that. Let's get into it because I'm getting nervous the more I talk. I used to hate the idea of having to expose the worst parts of me on the internet, and looking back, of course, I do regret having content I can never take down off the internet. But I'm learning as a part of my recovery that you can't just like lie to yourself so much that you convince yourself you're okay. And I've always struggled with hiding how much I'm hurting or dealing with depression or anxiety and taking that out on my platform. So I want to talk about it because I just needed to get it out. And there's a lot of truth in that, in what I said, because I do feel like I do take it on my platform. I do, purposely take my music down. I purposely hide it. I delete comments. I block people. I'm problematic on the internet. All of that. I'm sorry, this is just really hard for me to talk about. And it all starts with me feeling like I have to hide the parts of me that are hurting, even though this used to be an outlet for me. And I don't want to say that it's because of my numbers growing or people are watching or the stigma that I have to like put on the show to get to where I'm going, or people won't support me anymore. But I think that it's more of like I'm just learning and I'm coping differently than how I did back then, for one. And I'm bigger and better and stronger. And a funny story is that I didn't realize that until I had a person under me that like looked up to me and was going through some of the struggles that I did in the past and that I dealt with and moved on from a really long time ago. And they were asking me for advice. That was the second I realized, hey, wow, like I've grown up and I'm bigger than so many people. I need to act like it and grow up. And that's not always a bad thing, but I did need to grow up, and I didn't know how to answer her. I didn't know how to give her solutions because back then I wasn't coping correctly. I wasn't trying to heal for the sake of just doing it. I wasn't trying to connect with myself. I hated myself, so I was doing the opposite of all three of those things. So I didn't really have answers for her, and it was kind of embarrassing for me. But looking back on it, I realized that in that moment, and I think that kind of really changed my life. It changed my perspective on life because I realized that so yeah, I deal with having a platform very strangely because I love to take my content down and people see that. I love to block people for no reason or like small reasons. I love to hide comments, delete comments, not answer people. Um, and I think that all stems back from me being really, really bad at replying to people, like texting. I'm really bad at that. I leave it for like 3 days, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to get back to that, even though I did see it. And I'm just really bad at that lifestyle. I've never wanted to be good at it. I've never wanted to be a part of it. But having a platform, people see you doing it, and they assume, you are a part of that, or that you're wanting to be a part of that lifestyle. And nothing about putting on the show on the internet appeals to me. That's why I do dark things, and I love horror, and I love gore, and I love the dark parts of the internet. And I contribute to that because I've always had that nature. But I realized that I needed to grow up, and that was very recent. And I've kind of been spinning off forward, moving forward, spinning, and doing my own thing when I need to be on a mission to grow up. And not harming my platform while doing it. And I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. If that makes sense to you guys, leave a comment if it does, or if it doesn't. Because, like I said before, I'm learning as a part of my recovery that you can't just lie to yourself so much that you convince yourself you're okay, right? So, from growing up in an abusive home to cutting myself, to suicide attempts, to going to jail a bunch of times, my life never turned out what it was supposed to be. And it was all my fault, and I know that. From not working to get somewhere, from being lazy, from hating myself, from struggling, to the worst. But it gets better. It gets way better. So I think that when you learn to observe your cool, calm, and collectedness, that part of you is the part that you should be paying attention to, so that you can grow. And I say this so much, but I find it that people are like trees. We are only meant to grow upwards, out of the dirt, out of the darkness, towards the sun, upwards. Not knowing why, because trees don't know why they grow up. Trees don't know why they're here. Trees don't know why they're alive, but they just grow upwards. And we need to be the same. Is anybody out there? Is anybody still paying attention? I hope so. So, coping and learning to heal, I've learned so far that let go of like the mindset, believing, faith, let go of all that. It's about you. It's about you now. So center yourself in connectedness with yourself, connectivity with yourself. Start there. And when you figure out, hey, I love this, I like that, great. Indulge in it. That's next. Be selfish. You deserve it. hurting all the time, you need to learn to let go and grow up. And that sounds harsh. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. A lot of people don't really, a lot of people don't want to grow up. And it's hard enough as it is. But you gotta learn to. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. If you haven't seen the previous episode, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. Yay, YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more. I'm In Games and I'll be back.